Welcome to the weekend edition of the Fast Five by Fear and Greed. I'm Michael Thompson, and hello, Sean Aylmer.
Hello, Michael.
Sean, on weekdays, it's all about the Fast Five, the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. On the weekend, we obviously will still keep it to 5 minutes. It wouldn't be the Fast Five if we didn't, but we're going to pick out the biggest story of the week, the sleeper story, one that's kind of not getting the attention that it should, the most remarkable story, and then our favourite. So let's jump straight into it. The biggest story of the week, what was it?
For me, it's earnings season because it's better than what we thought it might be. The all-important consumer is still spending money. That's great for the economy. Big companies are able to pass through price rises. Profit margins are okay. Big question mark, though, is around labour. We found out the unemployment rate was down to 3.4% this week, a 48-year low. Some of my favourite earnings this week. Transurban talking about how people travel at different times of the year. BHP's massive dividend. CSL benefiting from the flu season. Domain saying housing FOMO is dissipating. Santos, the energy and gas giant, tripling its profit. Incredible week full of lots of big numbers.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, for me, the biggest story this week was actually from federal politics because everyone's talking about the old government, specifically former Prime Minister Scott Morrison. It emerged that he had, during the pandemic, sworn himself into 5 separate portfolios as a co-minister, big ones: Treasury, Health, Home Affairs, Finance and Resources. The argument being that they were extraordinary times. It was trying to make sure that if the relevant ministers got sick, that the government and country could still function. Maybe, but the problem was that 4 out of those 5 ministers didn't actually know anything about it. Labor and the Greens have been jumping up and down, as you can imagine. Some of the most damning criticism has really come from the former PM's own party, with one of those former ministers saying that he should actually resign. It's all in the past, really, but it has certainly grabbed a lot of attention this week.
Sure has.
All right, most remarkable story. I've got a quick little one to nominate for this one, Sean, and it's pretty incredible. This week we learned that Saudi Aramco, which is the largest oil company in the world, posted it, get this, $48 billion 3-month profit. It is the biggest quarterly net profit ever posted by a company. Revenue was up a whopping 80% to $150 billion. It's owned, of course, by the Saudi Arabian government. It's no great surprise that the company's doing so well. Oil prices have been soaring lately, and the company expects that to continue for some time.
Yeah, pretty remarkable story, but I got to tell you about my favourite story, which is Japan running a campaign to convince young adults to drink more. Yes, drink more. The economic logic is good. Japan's population is ageing. That's led to a drop in alcohol consumption, which in turn has led to a drop in tax collections. So they want people to drink more to increase tax. What about the social logic? Not so sure on that one. The World Health Organization says 3 million people die every year as a result of harmful use of alcohol. Anyway, the campaign is called Sake Viva. It's supposed to encourage people between the age of 20 and 39 to drink more. Don't know about this one, Michael. By the way, Japanese aren't big drinkers. They're only ranked 38 out of 49 in the OECD in terms of alcohol consumption. Number 1's Latvia. I know you want to know where we are. Number 20.
Number 20? I'm actually quite surprised by that. All right, sleeper story this week, Sean, one that's maybe going to be a bigger story further down the track as well. What was it for you?
Well, I reckon when the world's biggest company tells staff to come into the office, it matters. Apple told employees this week they must return to the office in September for at least 3 days. One has to be a Tuesday, one has to be a Thursday, and then one other determined by managers. Why? Because, as Chief Executive Tim Cook put it, in-person collaboration is essential to the Apple culture. Different tech companies are providing different guidelines. Atlassian employees don't have to come into the office. Meta's Mark Zuckerberg is promoting remote work. But Alphabet, parent of Google, is requiring corporate staff to be coming into the office 3 days a week. I reckon when Apple starts doing this, everyone will follow the lead. That's why it's my sleeper story of the week.
I don't think I can compete with that. That is a ripper of a story. Sean, we might move on to the favourite story of the week because this one is a no-brainer for me. The US biotech company that says it can recreate a Tasmanian tiger and have it back in the wild in a decade, which I just think is extraordinary. The last known Tasmanian tiger died in a Hobart zoo in 1936, but apparently we can stand by for a comeback because the fantastically named Colossal Biosciences in Dallas has been working with the University of Melbourne to recreate the Tasmanian tiger's genome. Love the fact that we've got an Australian university working with a private company. It's great kind of cooperation. And I love the fact that there's actually plans as well to bring back the woolly mammoth. But can I suggest that we also add the dodo to the list? I really just don't think it got a fair crack.
Oh, I like that. I can't compete with that. That is definitely a cracking story.
Such a good story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the best.
All right, there we go. 5 minutes and pretty much everything you need to know in the world of business and Tasmanian tigers. Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
We'll be back on Monday morning with the top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and this is the Fast 5 by Fear and Greed.